Have you ever played Darker Side in Super Mario Odyssey? If you have, you would know that it is one of the hardest things to do in Mario Odyssey. But after you've played Mario Odyssey enough, it just isn't hard anymore. And that's why I made this video, because you can I decided to try and beat Darker Side without collecting a single coin. And I'm LaserLock67, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so starting at the Odyssey, there's nothing too hard at this beginning section. Nowhere where you can collect coins. But the only part that you could even collect coins at is bouncing on those frogs and getting that coin, which is where you would have to restart, but I'm not going to, considering we're not really there yet. Because this outside part is not the hard part. The outside part, the hardest part, the outside part is easy. The hardest part is inside at a certain area. So let's get into there. At first glance, this first part looks easy. You just don't have to stomp on any. But this guy will kill them for you because he drops rocks onto the Goombas. And he gives you coins if you land on them. So you have to make sure that you go through it fast enough to where he can't drop rocks onto the things, onto the Goombas, and lose you hearts. So that's the first thing you have to avoid. And now, if you're trying to do this yourself, which I'm hoping you are, the second hard part and the second section is this, where you have to jump around these coins. But if you stay just out of the coins way in there, and this part might look impossible, but if you drop down and go over them, you can indeed miss the coins there as well. And this section is easy because there's literally is like pretty much nowhere to collect even collect coins at. And right here, the lava bubble, you'd have to go far out of your way to get coins. So if you're trying to do this yourself, the only parts you have to worry about are those first two parts so far into the run. Now in this section is where things start to get a bit tricky, because of course you have to capture this thing. And the hard part about this is you can't kill any of those spiky things, because if you do, they will give you coins. You just have to avoid those things. And it's a good thing that we've lost 1 health, because this skip, you might be thinking, like, because there's a skip right here. But you have to go through that water area that requires you to get coins. But if you go on top of this block, you can do this. Pretty crazy, huh? And you have to make sure to avoid these coins. But Nintendo definitely knew about it, because there is coins up here, which is very cool. And this section might be the section where you're like, yeah, there's no way. And I thought that at first too, until you realize that Yoshi doesn't even have to go on the gears in this one, because Yoshi is required, that is true. But if you jump at a certain way, you can completely skip over the conveyor belt, and Yoshi can just jump across like this. It's just absolutely insane to me. And I think this would be the craziest skip, except there's crazier ones. This section is a very easy one, because you basically just don't have to hit those things, those that send all the blocks away, because you can just avoid them quite easily. I'm pretty sure anyone who plays this game could avoid them. And for this part, it's quite easy to just triple jump over. And you can go into this part. I will grab the queen heart, because maybe it's necessary later. And then you just ride this one over to it. And this might be another part where you're like, this is impossible. You have to get those rings, which are coins. And that may be true, but it isn't, to be honest. It isn't. Because you can just jump onto here with Cappy and grab those coins. So when you do it, make sure not to grab those coins. Make sure Cappy homes on to the Scarecrow, because you can quite literally just ride it up, which is so incredibly absurd. So that's the next skip. And this is the actual craziest one, because with Glide-On, you can, that wasn't high enough. You can travel so ridiculously high using that, and it's insane. Come on, please, come on. Yes. This is the amount of height you can get if you do that right. You have to shake right as you go into the lower part of that, and you get sent way up into the sky. A very fun trick, to say the least, that can skip so much. You just gotta keep shaking so you don't lose too much height. And if you go over, and so you can completely skip, okay, so you can't skip that part, but if you do it well enough, you can indeed skip both the Forks part and the Pokio part and the Bowser part. And once you do that skip, you just have to get the wire and capture it and take it up to here, and the rest of it without coins is simple. Just grab this and take it all the way through. Aw, crap. And once you finish that, you can simply go into here. And by the way, thank you. Thank you if you made it this far into it. I really appreciate you watching this. And if you've enjoyed it so far, like and subscribe, because the rest of it is very simple. You just jump up into here, and this building right here, you can jump up, and it's very easy to not collect coins right here. It's super easy. And once you jump up here, you can go onto the pole. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate you watching this, and if you made it this far, comment #hi, because I'll reply back hello. And thank you so much for watching. That's Darker Side Without Collecting a Coin. I am LaserLock67. See you later. Ciao.